Hello and welcome to Homer for Monday, June 30th, 2025. Today we will be reading from lines 229 to 247 in Book 11 of the Iliad. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope you enjoy this very touching episode of Iphidamas' demise on the Iliadic battlefield. Now, these he had left at Percote, the shapely ships, but himself had come by land to Ilios. He it was that now came to face Agamemnon, son of Atreus. And when they were come near as they advanced one against the other, the son of Atreus missed, and his spear was turned aside. But Iphidamas stabbed him on the girdle beneath the corselet, and put his weight into the thrust, trusting in his heavy hand. Howbeit he pierced not the flashing girdle, for long ere that the spear point struck the silver, and was bent like lead. Then wide-rolling Agamemnon seized the spear in his hand, and drew it toward him furiously like a lion, and pulled it from the hand of Iphidamas, and smote him on the neck with his sword, and loosed his limbs. So there he fell, and slept a sleep of bronze, unhappy youth, far from his wedded wife, bearing aid to his townsfolk, far from the bride, of whom he had known no joy, yet much had he given for her. First he gave 100 kine, and thereafter promised 1,000 goats and sheep together, which were herded for him in flocks past counting. And then did Agamemnon, son of Atreus, strip him, and went through the throng of the Achaeans, bearing his goodly armor. All right, let's sing it. Tas minepeten per koteli pereas eisas. Tas minepeten per koteli peneas eisas. Autara hopes doseones. Oh shoot. Autar hopes doseones ilionelle lutheia. Tas minepeten per koteli peneas eisas. Autar hopes doseones ilionelle lutheia. Ostra totratreidau Agamemnonos antion elthen. Oedote descedones anapaleloi siniontes. Atreides mena Marte paraide atrapetenkos. Iphidamas te katas donen torrekos enertheia. Nux epidautos eresi pareie keripiteisas. Oratores dos terra panaion analo poluprin. Arguroi anto menemoli possos et trapetaich meia. Caido che ceri la bon euro creion Agamemnon. Helke pioi memosos listeca. Helke pioi memosos te listectara kreiros. Helke pioi memosos te listectara kreiros. Spassa totonda ori plexa ocena lucide guia. Osso menauti person quae meso te calceon rupnon. Oector sopomnes teis aloqua stois in arregon. Curi dies e suoti carini de pola et ocei. Prothecaton bus docena peta de cieli hupestei. Aigas homo caeo vista hoi aspete poi mainonto. Deto te gatreides Agamemnon exan arixei. Bede peronan homiron acaion teoce acala. All right, kind of a long passage, but that was good. Okay, you should know, dear Homer audience, that there's a lot of metals in here. Very interesting. So we have lead, right? So before it gets through the silver, it was turned away. The spirit was turned away, so it was like bent, right? Having met with the girdle, like lead. So we have lead and then silver, right? And then do we have another metal up here? Well, anyway. Then we have down here we get to, he falls into a bronze sleep. Why is it a bronze sleep? Because we're in the Bronze Age. And why is it the Bronze Age? Because the bronze is the most advanced metal they had. So bronze was unbreakable. So, if you're in a bronze sleep, that means you don't wake up from this sleep. It's because he's dead. And some people hypothesize that, all death was sleep before religion invented this idea that you could wake up from death. And that, there's this oscillation between the living and the dead that didn't used to exist, right? Because, death was always sleep, a type of sleep, right? But after you can revive from death in this special religious manner, it's not sleep anymore. You're not asleep. You're not in bronze, unbreakable sleep. Rather, you're in something else. Anyway, so I guess the sad part about, his bronze death is that, he misses out on all this great stuff, right? And he misses out on his dear wife, right? He's wedded to this wife and he paid a huge bride price, right? Like thousands of animals. And they never even got to live together and he didn't get to enjoy her, which is very sad. But he had to go assist his countrymen. Astoi sin arego is to supplicate, right? This is the only pitiable, oiktros, the only use of oiktros in the Homeric epics. So this is the only pitiable death, I guess, if you take things literally. Very interesting. It's the only death that's labeled as pitiable. What does that say about us? What does that say, about Homer's idea of a pitiable death, right? Well, it is very pathetic. It's very, you do empathize with the guy. But at the end of the day, we regress to the very clear fact. And I like the very alliterative aspect of these last two lines, right? Detoke Atreides Agamemnon exanarixe, right? So we and then we have an homilon akaion teokeia kala, ka teokeia kala. So we have right? Alpha, and then we have an alpha right here, alpha right here, alpha right here, alpha right here, right? It seems like, there's a bit of like, some people note, the change in word order here that makes these lines 242 to 3 like a little more emotional. I would add that the way that the poet adds all these alphas in at the end is also very emotionally charged. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this long spate of lines, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.